अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथग्विधम् विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवं चैवात्र पंचमम्. What are the five causes for the result? The place of action, the adhisthana, place of action, the performer, karta, second. This is first, this is second, performer. The various senses, means this is karanam, instruments. And then many different kinds of endeavor. And this is fourth, cheshta, pruthakvidam. Then ultimately the super soul. And Prabhupada has told before, super soul, daivam, and daiva is super soul. So these are the five factors of action. So whenever any activity is there, action is there. So action produces some result. So this result, how this result comes, and this result is dependent on these five factors. And these five factors are the causes for the result of any action or any activity. This is the meaning of factors of action. Factors of action means they are the causes for the results of any action. And this is the meaning. Okay. Somebody can read.
The word adhishthanam refers to the body. The soul within the body is acting to bring about the results of activity and is therefore known as karta, the doer. That the soul is the knower and the doer is stated in the Shruti. Isa hi drishtha shrestha. Prashna Upanishad 4.9. It is also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra by the verses Nyota Eva 2.3.18 and Karta Sastrartha Vat 2.3.33. The instruments of action are the senses, and by the senses the soul acts in various ways. For each and every action there is a different endeavor, but all one's activities depend on the will of the Supersoul, who is seated within the heart as a friend. The Supreme Lord is the Supercast. Under these circumstances, he who is acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Supersoul, situated within the heart, is naturally not bound by any activity. Those in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible for their actions. Everything is dependent on the Supreme Will, the Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Let's explain. So first, he is mentioning the adhisthana. And we saw that adhisthana refers to the body, Prabhupada is telling. But actually, what is there? Adhisthana means place of action. And where any action, and if it is taking place, there should be some place. And if place is not there, then where the action will take place. And so that place, Krishna is telling, that is adhisthana. And this is word used by Krishna. So meaning of that is the place or the body. Now, that there is a performer, Prabhupada has written in translation. And so Krishna has told it as karta. And karta means performer or the doer. And who is soul. And because he is the living force. And body is the adhisthana. And soul is the karta. So there are references and how the soul is the karta. So Prabhupada is quoting from two places. One is Prashna Upanishad. So in what is there in Prashna Upanishad? So Esha hi drushtva srishtha. And so what is the meaning is that the soul is the knower and the doer. And drushta and srishtha. So meaning Prabhupada translated it as the knower and the doer. Also, then another reference Prabhupada is giving from Vedanta Sutra. Two sutras he is quoting. Nyota eva and karta shastrat shastrat arthatvat. So what is the meaning? So in detail, Prabhupada is not given here the meaning of that. The sutras, they have very complicated meanings. And because what is sutra? So it is the condensed version. It is not like shloka. And like sutra means in English it is formula. So formula has condensed meaning. And so many things are there in formula. So but simple meaning here is the soul is the knower and doer. And then after there, Prabhupada has explained two things. Then after that, Prabhupada is explaining the instruments and means karana of action. So for each and every action, there is a so what are the instruments? The senses are the instruments. And so how we do any action and by help of which things we complete the action? With the help of senses and we complete any action. So senses are the instrument, karanam. Then fourth thing Prabhupada is mentioning, for completing any action, we have to endeavor. And so different type of endeavors we have to make to complete a single action also. A single action of cooking and involve different types of endeavor. Cutting sabji, washing them, cleaning the vessel, cleaning the platform. So these different types of activities we have to do. Just endeavors we have to do. That endeavors are called as cheshta. And this is the fourth thing. Then after that, ultimate thing, Prabhupada is telling. These four reasons, and they are in sense material reasons. Actually, soul is a spiritual, and but our senior devotees, they have mentioned it as a material reasons. And so super soul, and let it be, they are just reasons and lower reasons, and I will not use the word material. And the ultimate reason is fifth reason, and that is super soul. He is the super cause. Why is super cause? Because without his sanction, nothing will happen, and that's why he is a super cause. So now this is up to in general, and like every time Prabhupada is bringing Krishna consciousness, so here also he has brought Krishna consciousness. So this is clear, whatever Krishna has told for normal person. Now he's Prabhupada here bringing Krishna consciousness. He who is acting in Krishna consciousness, and he is devotee. Prabhupada is talking about devotee. Devotee is naturally under the direction of the super soul, situated within the heart, is naturally not bound by any activity. We know that bhakti doesn't produces bondage, and bhakti liberates us. The activities of bhakti are called as akarma. And what is the meaning of akarma? It is neither papa or punya, and so it will not bound. bhakti will not bound us. Those in complete Krishna consciousness, not ultimately responsible for their action. So that's why they will not get any action. Because they are super soul is the cause, and they are working under the direction of super soul, and he is the main doer in their case. They are not the doer, so that's why they are not getting the reaction. And so that's why Krishna has explained so much to prove that how the Tyagis and Sannyasis, they are not getting any reaction for their work. So this is the whole point Krishna wants to prove. And that's why here he has added these 13 to 17 verses. So now here it is little bit clear. What are the causes of, what are the reasons for any result of any action?
Prabhuji, here, when we say causes, there was Jiva, Super Soul, and Prakriti. So senses can be considered as Prakriti, right? Which are instruments.
Yes. That will come. That will come. That discussion will come. Krishna will reduce.
And also, and also time is also a factor or not a factor, or that comes under Super Soul only. Because Krishna says, "I'm Kala."
Yeah, time is not the reason. A result. Result of any action. Result is not depending on time, and because they are same only, non-different. Krishna says, "I am time, super soul." So that is considered under the category of super souls. And if we analyze externally, then time is a factor, but here that comes under the category of super soul.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll go ahead. Shariravan manobhiryat karma prabhate nara nyayam va viparitam va panchayate tasya hetavah. So whatever right and wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors. So whatever may be action. So Krishna is giving, repeating same point, to have more stress on that. But some addition also he has done here. So somebody may think, and because Krishna is explaining in regards to whom? Tyagi and Sannyasi. So Krishna, so one may think that it is only for Tyagi and Sannyasi Krishna is explaining. For Tyagi and Sannyasi, they are doing the right action. So wrong actions, it is not applicable. So one may, and there is possibility that one may come to that conclusion. And so the Krishna is clearly specifying. So right and wrong, both actions have these 5 causes, 5 factors. Please. What you can read?
The words right and wrong are very significant in this verse. Right work is work done in terms of the prescribed directions in the scriptures, and wrong work is work done against the principles of the scriptural injunction. But whatever is done requires these 5 factors for its complete performance. Hare Krishna.
Simple thing, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada just has said that, and in translation only, we have discussed this point. And here one addition Prabhupada has given is that what is the right work? So, which is done according to the scriptures. And that is prescribed direction. Prescribed duty is the right work. And which is done for our own enjoyment. And a material cause is there. that is the wrong work, which is against the scriptural injunctions that addition Prabhupada has given. So now Krishna has here stressed which are the these 5 factors. Emphasis he has given in this verse number 15.
Many times people ask that wrong things also sanctioned by super soul. So that is also answered.
So everything is sanctioned by the super soul, but everything is not super soul wants, and like teachers, and so they sanction who is pass and fail, and but they don't want that student should fail, and they want that all student should pass. And so similarly, the super soul is sanctioning and he is the cause, but that is not his desire. He is the cause, but he's not the that is not his desire. So that point devotees they tell. And Krishna is continuing his discussion. He's telling, Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyah pashyati akruta buddhivan na sa pashyati durmatihi. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer. And so all of us are the doer. And so we are doing the action, but we are not. What is wrong in that considering ourselves as the doer? So we are the doer, but we are not the only doer. And so there are others also, and who are doing the who are the cause of the result of any action. So we are doer, and but we are not the only doer. This is very important word. So otherwise, people may think, and every time it is mentioned, that do not consider yourself as the doer. And so those who are intellectual and uh, those who think little bit, and they think, I am doing the activity, and how I am not the doer. And so the meaning behind the word is you are not the doer, is that you are not the only doer. Now, very precise translation Prabhupada has given. And not considering the 5 factors is certainly not very intelligent.
The sharing is lost just now.
I couldn't hear.
Sorry, Prabhu. The sharing got lost. We can share again. Yes.
Okay, okay. Why it got lost?
in progress.
Here we saw the main point is we are not the only doer. And now Krishna is telling, not considering the 5 factors is certainly not a very intelligent. And those who are not considering and these 5 causes for any result, and they are not very intelligent, and they cannot see things as they are. And so why they are not very intelligent? Because they cannot see the actual things and who is the actual doer, that they are not able to see. What happened, madam? Somebody can read the purport.
A foolish person cannot understand that the super soul is sitting as a friend within and conducting his actions. Although the material causes are the place, the worker, the endeavor, and the senses, the final cause is the supreme, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should see not only the 4 material causes, but the supreme efficient cause as well. One who does not see the supreme thinks himself to be the doer.
So here the word material has come. So for other causes. But problem is comes in that soul is spiritual. But Prabhupada has said this. So what Prabhupada is saying in this purport is that a person who is foolish, and Krishna only has told that person as a foolish, he doesn't consider all these 5 causes. And Prabhupada is emphasizing that this foolish person, especially, he doesn't consider the super soul. There, Prabhupada emphasis is there. And simply then Prabhupada, so Prabhupada is telling people generally see the 4 causes, but they neglect the supreme efficient cause. That Prabhupada is telling. And these are the foolish person. So that's why they are the foolish, because they are not considering all the 5 things. So now Krishna is concluding this section of the 5 causes of result in the verse 70. Yasya naham kruto bhavo buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvapi sa iman lokan na hanti na nibadhyate. Krishna is telling, one who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, doesn't kill, nor is he bound by his actions. So somebody is killing, means why Krishna is using the word especially killing among all the activity, because that is now currently relevant to Arjuna. Because his question is that should I kill the enemies or not? Should I fight or not? And that's why specifically this example Krishna has used of killing. So Krishna is telling that if somebody kills his enemies, how he kills? When he is not motivated by false ego. And whose intelligence is not entangled, then why he is killing? Just as a matter of duty. If somebody is performing his prescribed duty as a kshatriya, and he has this attitude that he is not motivated by false ego, na ahankar, and ahankar is not there of any type, false ego is not there, and intelligence is also not entangled, means is killing just that they are against the dharma and it is my duty to kill them. So such person is not getting any kind of reaction and is not bound by any kind of reaction. This Krishna is mentioning now. Somebody is performing his prescribed duty, but in that it may appear that some sin is there, but the person is not bound up by the reaction of that work. This Krishna is clarified. Somebody can read the purport.
In this verse, the Lord informs Arjuna that the desire not to fight arises from false ego. Arjuna thought himself to be the doer of action, but he did not consider the supreme sanction within and without. If one does not know that a super sanction is there, why should he act? But one who knows the instruments of work, himself as the worker, and the Supreme Lord as the supreme sanctioner, is perfect in doing everything. Such a person is never in illusion. Personal activity and responsibility arise from false ego and godlessness or lack of Krishna consciousness. Anyone who is acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Super Soul or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though killing does not kill, nor is he ever affected by the reaction of such killing. When a soldier kills under the command of a superior officer, he is not subject to be judged. But if a soldier kills on his own personal account, then he is certainly judged by a court of law.
So, what point Prabhupada is mentioning here, in short, is just I will summarize what main point Prabhupada is explaining. And so, Prabhupada is telling before acting. So, before acting, there is some impetus and why we should act and why we should do this action. So there is some impetus when we act. Then he tells the work. So then what is the work? Sorry. Prabhupada is not talking about impetus here. And in next verse he's talking. So in this verse, Lord informs Arjuna that the desire not to fight arises from false ego. And that Krishna has mentioned. Because why he's arising from the false ego? Because Arjuna is not performing his prescribed duty by not fighting. So that's why his that desire is coming from false ego. And Prabhupada mentioned the concept that who is perfect at doing everything and is never in illusion. So who is perfect in doing everything? So one who is knows that he is the instrument of work and himself as the worker and the supreme Lord as the supreme sanctioner is the perfect in doing everything. So here Prabhupada is mentioned himself as the worker, the Lord as the supreme sanctioner, and he is the just instrument. His senses are just the instrument. he is the perfect in doing everything. Then Prabhupada mentions that personal activity and responsibility arise from false ego and godlessness or lack of Krishna consciousness. So such kind of thing is not the, it should not be done. It is under the illusion. That is the personal activity and not the Lord's activity. Then after that, next important point Prabhupada mentioned is that action is in Krishna consciousness. So acting in Krishna consciousness and under the direction of the super soul or the supreme personality of Godhead, even though killing doesn't kill, nor is he ever affected by the reaction of such killing. And why? Because he is doing under the direction of super soul. When a soldier kills under the command of a superior officer, he is not subject to be judged. But if a soldier kills on his own personal account, and that is personal activity, an example, and responsibility, personal responsibility, then he is certainly judged by a court of law. Simple Prabhupada is explaining that only. So now Krishna has, in this 13 to 17, Krishna has mentioned there are 5 causes and for any result and which is going to come. So you should not consider yourself as the doer. And if you perform your prescribed duty without false ego and false ego and what when your intelligence is not entangled, and so when these 2 conditions are fulfilled, then if you are doing your prescribed duty, even though it is appearing as a sinful, then you are not bound by that action. So this Arjuna, Krishna has clarified for Arjuna. So that he will not have any confusion, and should he fight or not fight. Now Krishna is mentioning there are some motivators and constituents of action. So what motivates a person to perform an action, and what constitutes the action, that things, and that point will come now here. The karta, karma, not prakriti and karta. Jnanam jneyam parijnata trividha karma chodana karanam karma karteti trividha karma sangraha. Krishna is telling that knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the 3 factors that motivate the action. So these 3 factors motivate the action. And then senses, the work, and the doer are the 3 constituents of action. We'll see. The knowledge and object of knowledge. Krishna has just mentioned these things. So there are 3 kinds of impetus, and there are 3 kinds of constituents of action. So now Krishna, before he had just mentioned superficially. So there are 5 causes of any action, but now he is going little deeper. And this is very important verse and regarding the future sections of Bhagavad Gita. And so we know that Jeev, Jagat and Jagdish, and this we know. Prabhuji was speaking some time before. And there is Jiva, and there is Prakriti, and there is Lord. And we know that Jiva desires. Then there is Prakriti, it fulfills. And Lord sanctions. This we know. Now see, what Krishna has mentioned is that it's knowledge and karta, object of knowledge, and the knower, and means the karta. So this knowledge so Krishna has used the word, and Krishna has used the word jnanam for knowledge, and for object of knowledge Krishna has used the word jnaya, and he has used the word parijnata, and for whom? The knower. And karanam means the senses, and work is the, he has used the word karma for work, and the doer, this karta. That 6 words Krishna has used. Now what is happening? Jnana and knowledge, and this is 1 word. Then the next is jnaya. So now Krishna has mentioned 6 things here. So which are knowledge, just I'm repeating. So who has knowledge? And this knower. So knowledge and knower. And then jnaya is also there. Jnaya. Just here only I will write so that it will be clear. Knowledge, this is first, and this is jnana. This is jnaya. Object of knowledge, and knower. And who is the knower means parijnata. Then there is karanam, senses. And then there is a karma, an action, and there is a karta, and the doer. And so what is happening? This karta and doer, and he is only the knower. And who is the knower of anything? Doer is only the knower, and parijnata and karta. So they are considered the same thing. And first, Krishna has mentioned in detail them in different names he has used, but here onwards he has combined them, and karta and parijnata. So Krishna is used both of them together and as a karta, and these 2 things are similar only, and because knower is the only doing the action. Clear? So why I am explaining this? Because in this verse, Krishna has mentioned 6 things. So then, but from the next verse, Krishna has reduced these 6 things into 3. And so that how he has reduced, that I am telling here. Clear what I am telling? And some confusion might be there. Clear? So now we have reduced these two things to one. Now there are four things are remaining. So which are the four things? Jnana, Jnaya, Karanam, and Karma. And like these four things are remaining. So now Acharyas, they have told this Karanam and Jnaya, and the object of knowledge, and the impetus, and they are not living, and that they are telling, and that reason they are telling, they are the dead, and that's why they are removed. So there were four things were remaining, and so in that Jnaya and Karanam, and so the reason of removing them, they are, our acharyas, they have told they are not living. And then what is remaining? Karma, work, and jnana. And now only three things are remaining: karta, and then jnana, and karma. So Krishna will discuss these three things only from the next verse. So what Prabhupada is mentioning, it's clear, no? So how Krishna has reduced these six things into three things. So this is, in this verse it is not required, but here only I have told. From next verse it is required. So Krishna will talk these three things: karta, jnana, and karma in three modes.
Guruji, what
He
is
will talk on
Guruji, what is object of knowledge?
object of knowledge, and that they have mentioned that it is a dead thing, and like not clear it. What is that object of knowledge? Nobody has mentioned. Just, but it is mentioned that it is dead. Like this, it is mentioned. It is not clear till now. Clarity is not there in this regard. Somebody can read the purport.
There are three kinds of impetus for daily work: knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower. The instruments of work, the work itself, and the worker are called the constituents of work. Any work done by any human being that has these elements. Before one acts, there is some impetus, which is called inspiration. Any solution arrived at before work is actualized in a subtle form of work. Then work takes the form of action. First, one has to undergo the psychological process of thinking, feeling, and willing, and that is called impetus. The inspiration to work is the same if it comes from the scripture of or from the instruction of the spiritual master. When this inspiration is there and the worker is there, then actual activity take place by the help of the senses, including the mind, which is center of all the senses. The sum total of all the constituents of an activity are called the accumulation of work. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So Prabhupada just has mentioned, translation only he has mentioned. After that, Prabhupada is mentioning any work done by any human being has three elements. And before one acts, there is some impetus, and why he is working, which is called inspiration. So inspiration Prabhupada has mentioned. And solution arrived at before work is actualized is a subtle form of work. So whatever solution arrived means this is the plan, we can say. He has made the plan according to his inspiration. The plan is also subtle form of the work. And then work takes the form of action. Then this plan is executed into action. And first one has to undergo the psychological process of thinking, feeling, and willing. That is called the impetus for the work. And we say that planning and we do before the work. And inspiration to work is the same if it comes from the scriptures or from the instruction of the spiritual master. Then why he is working, and that impetus, and that comes from the two reasons may be there for impetus: an order of spiritual master or from the scriptures. And from these two sources, we come to know our prescribed duty. Prescribed duty. So we come to know from the scriptures and spiritual master, devotee. Okay? So that's why there are two impetus for any activity. When the inspiration is there and the worker is there, the actual activity takes place by the help of senses. Prabhupada is mentioning the whole picture, including the mind, which is the center of all. Then senses are required for executing the action. And sum total of all constituents of an activity are called the accumulation of work. So all these things, if we combine together, then they are called the accumulation of the work. Clear? So now, after mentioning these constituents and the motivations and inspirations of action, Krishna mentions, Krishna added the concept of three modes here in the verse 19. What he is telling, Jnanam karma cha karta cha trividha guna bhedatah prochyate guna sankhyane yathavach shrunu tanyapi. Krishna is telling, according to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action. So now Krishna has reduced into three only: knowledge, action, and performer of action. Now hear of them from me. The next verse, that only I have mentioned here. And knowledge means jnana, second point I have mentioned. And then karma and karta. Jnana, karma, and karta. So jnana means knowledge, and karma is action, and this is karta, performer of action. So now, before only I have mentioned that Krishna reduces that six things into three, and then talks about these three things in three modes. Clear? Read the purport.
In the 14th chapter, the three divisions of the modes of material nature were elaborately described. In that chapter, it was said that the mode of goodness is illuminating, the mode of passion materialistic, and the mode of ignorance conductive to laziness and indolence. All the modes of material nature are binding. They are not sources of liberation. Even in the mode of goodness, one is conditioned. In the 17th chapter, the different types of worship by different types of men in different modes of material nature were described. In this verse, the Lord says that He wishes to speak about the different types of knowledge, workers, and work itself according to the three material modes. Thank you.
So, what just Prabhupada has made the here list and whatever we have discussed till now. And so what is that list? That goodness is illuminating, and passion is materialistic, and mode of ignorance is conducive to laziness and indolence. Sorry. Then these modes, they are binding, and so all these three modes, they bind us, that we saw, and they are not sources of liberation. Then what else is mentioned? That there are different types of men in different modes of material nature. They also describe and persons, how they eat according to their eating and all, and yeah, what type of charity they give and what type of sacrifice they do. And so according to that, the different types of persons also, men and different types of men, they also are mentioned in the 17th chapter. In this verse, the Lord is telling that he wants to speak about these three things in three modes. So now he starts speaking. So first he starts speaking about three modes of knowledge in three modes. First, he begins with the knowledge with the goodness. We'll take a 10 minutes break here. We'll meet at 6:50. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll begin the knowledge in the mode of goodness, which Krishna is speaking. So we'll recite the verse. Sarvabhuteshu yenekam bhavam avyam ikshate avivaktam vibhakteshu tadjnanam vidhi satvikam. Okay. So Krishna is mentioning the satvik jnana, knowledge in goodness. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms. You should understand to be in the mode of goodness. So there are how many forms of living entities? How many forms are there?
84 lakh.
84 lakh. So these 84 lakh, but forms are there. But in all forms, there is same soul. There is no difference between the soul. That spiritual nature is same in all these different forms, 84 lakhs form. So that one knows, and if somebody knows, that knowledge is the knowledge of in the goodness. Krishna has mentioned. Somebody can read the purport.
A person who sees sorry, a person who sees one spirit soul in every living being, whether a demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, or plant, possesses knowledge in the mode of goodness. In all living entities, one spirit soul is there, although they have different bodies in terms of their previous work. As described in the 7th chapter, the manifestation of the living force in every body is due to the superior nature of the Supreme Lord. Thus, to see that one superior nature, that living force in every body, is to see in the mode of goodness. That living energy is imperishable, although the bodies are perishable. Differences are perceived in terms of the body they are because there are many forms of material existence in the conditional life. The living force appears to be divided. Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization.
Thank you. Simple explanation Prabhupada has given. And so till now here, and he is mentioning that he has giving just names and of these 84 lakhs, some names in 84 lakhs of species, and some species like demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, or plant. So in all these different species, there is one soul, and which is all souls have the same nature. So same spiritual nature, and then coming from the same source, Krishna. So that somebody is seeing, that is knowledge in goodness. One spirit soul is there. And in 7th chapter, Prabhupada is referring, and what he's telling from 7th chapter, that manifestation of the living force in every body is due to the superior nature of the Supreme Lord. And where it is, he has mentioned the word para prakriti. Superior. Para means superior nature of the Lord. Thus, to see that one superior nature, that living force in every body, is to see in the mode of goodness. Seeing that para energy of the Lord in every living entity, that is knowledge in the mode of goodness. The living energy is imperishable, although the bodies are perishable. The differences are perceived in terms of the body, not in terms of the soul, because there are many forms of material existence in conditioned life. The living force appear to be divided. Such an impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization. Because there are many forms of material existence in conditioned life. The living force appears to be divided. It appears, and that soul is divided, but he is not divided. Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization. Although this knowledge may appear little impersonal in nature, but still it is a knowledge of self-realization. It is knowledge in the goodness. So seeing the equality, all living beings are equal. And not just human beings are equal, but all living entities are equal. And so that is important. And so one may think that living beings are equal, plants are equal, and so dogs are equal. And so that kind of conception somebody might be having. But what is knowledge in goodness is that all living entity, they are equal in nature. So this is knowledge in goodness. Now knowledge in passion. पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नाना भावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्. So what is knowledge in passion? That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity. Exactly opposite of knowledge in goodness. In goodness, we see that there are different bodies, but there is uniqueness, equalness is there. But here he is seeing, the person who has passionate knowledge, that all living entities are different. And he is in the mode of passion. What Prabhupada is telling? Somebody can read.
The concept that the material body is the living entity, and that with the destruction of the body, the consciousness is also destroyed, is called the knowledge in the mode of passion. According to that knowledge, bodies differ from one another because of the development of different types of consciousness. Otherwise, there is no separate soul which manifests consciousness. The body is itself the soul, and there is no separate soul beyond the body. According to such knowledge, consciousness is temporary, or else there are no individual souls, but there is an all pervading soul which is full of knowledge, and this body is a manifestation of temporary ignorance. Or beyond this body, there is no special individual or supreme soul. All such conceptions are considered product of the mode of passion.
Thank you. So, Prabhupada is telling that the concept that the material body is the living entity, and with the destruction of the body, consciousness is also destroyed. And that knowledge is, that conception is, so is in mode of passion. First point is Prabhupada telling. So how to understand this mode of passion? For this, Prabhupada has told this point, and that when the body is destroyed, and eventually everybody's body will be destroyed. And with this destruction of body, and so these passionate people, they think that consciousness is also destroyed, and soul is also destroyed. Such kind of knowledge is in the mode of passion that Prabhupada is telling. And so what wrong understanding they have. Then causes of different body. And so regarding that, what is their opinion? Bodies differ from one another. And why they differ? Because there is different kind of consciousness. This is not correct. Consciousness is same only, different type of karma. And actual reason is because of different type of karma, person is getting different type of body. But they say that because different type of consciousness is there, that's why person is getting different body. And again, what they say, there is no separate soul. So wrong understanding is there in mode of passion. The body itself is the soul. Naturally, if soul is not different, then both of them are same. And there is no separate and beyond the body, separate soul and body. Both are same only, like that they say. According to such knowledge, consciousness is temporary, or else there are no individual souls. So these passionate people, they say that soul is not individual. So there is only one soul, and like that they say. And these are their wrong conception, Prabhupada is telling. And this is why they consider this, because of their ignorance. And they also consider super soul is also not there, and individuality of soul is also not there. Like this, there is opinion. So all such conceptions are product of the mode of passion. So this is the knowledge in the mode of passion. They say that inner nature, soul, and is same as outer nature, that body. There is no different, though no difference between both of them. So this is the understanding of people in the people who have this knowledge of mode of passion. Then now the knowledge in the mode of ignorance. Yastu krutsna vada ekasmin karye saktam ahetukam atatvartha vada alpam cha tat tamasam udahratam. That knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, and without knowledge of the truth, which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. So person who has this knowledge in the mode of darkness, what he's doing, he's attached to one type of work only. As all in all, he will not do other work. And he doesn't have knowledge of the truth and doesn't have knowledge of the scripture, which is very meager. And knowledge is very alpa. Krishna has used the word alpa, means meager, in very less quantity. Alpam, very meager. But you can read the purport.
The knowledge of the common man is always in the mode of darkness or ignorance, because every living entity is conditioned in conditional life is born into the mode of ignorance. One who does not develop knowledge through the authorities or scriptural injunctions has the knowledge that is limited to the body. He is not concerned about acting in terms of the directions of scripture. For him, God is money and knowledge means the satisfaction of bodily demands. Such knowledge has no connection with the absolute truth. It is more or less like the knowledge of the ordinary animals, the knowledge of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. Such knowledge is described here as the product of the mode of darkness. In other words, knowledge concerning the spirit's soul beyond this body is called knowledge in the mode of goodness. Knowledge producing many theories and doctrines by dint of mundane logics and mental speculation is the product of mode of passion. And knowledge concerned only with keeping the body comfortable is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
So, what is this knowledge in mode of ignorance? And so common man's knowledge, who doesn't know anything about spirituality, his knowledge is in the mode of ignorance. Then Prabhupada is mentioning knowledge limited to the body. He has only knowledge of body. And why he has only knowledge of body? Because he has not developed his consciousness and his thought process from the scriptures. So that's why he doesn't have the knowledge of soul. He has only material knowledge. That's why it is in the mode of ignorance. And for such a person, who is God then? Money and wealth is only his God. And his knowledge is how to satisfy only body. And that is his knowledge. He doesn't have any connection with the absolute truth. Like animals only. And Prabhupada is telling that eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. And these are the needs of animals. And so that only he does. Nothing different from that. Then now this much Prabhupada has told about the mode of ignorance. Now he's comparing this with mode of goodness. So Prabhupada then tell about the mode of goodness, that knowledge in the mode of goodness. That what is that knowledge? And knowledge concerning the spirit soul, how the same soul is there and bodies are different. That knowledge is knowledge in the mode of goodness. And knowledge producing many theories and doctrines by logic and mental speculation. And they imagine that knowledge is in the mode of passion. So they see that many theories like soul and body are the same. And like this, many new theories are there. That is knowledge in the mode of passion. And then ignorance is that what? Knowledge concerning only the keeping the body comfortable. That knowledge. And like animals. Animals just, they try to keep their body comfortable. That knowledge is in the mode of goodness. And, this Krishna explaining about the knowledge. Now, after this, Krishna explained the doer, karta, in the three modes. He tells, next he mentions, niyatam sangarahitam aragha dveshatah krutam falah prepsuna karma yattat satvikam uchyate. Sorry, actions means karma he is explaining, not the karta. And the action means work which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred. And both things are required, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results, is said to be in the mode of goodness. So what is that? Attachment is not there, and to the action. Attachment to action is not there. With love or hatred, sorry, without love or hatred, that is also not there. And without desire of fruitive results. So that knowledge is in the, sorry, that action is in the mode of goodness. Somebody can read the purport.
Regulated occupational duties as prescribed in the scriptures in terms of the different orders and divisions of society, performed without attachment or proprietary rights, and therefore without any love or hatred, and performed in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme, without self-satisfaction or self-gratification, are called actions in the mode of goodness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So many times this Krishna has told, without attachment, without attachment. This is a constant theme and in Bhagavad Gita. Do your work without attachment. And now Prabhupada is adding here that regulated occupational duties. So how he is regulating his duties? Based on the scriptures. That he is knowing his work from the scriptures. We previous purport we have seen that there are two ways to know our duty. What are they? How we can know our prescribed duty?
Through scriptures and instructions of spiritual master.
So in that first point, Prabhupada is telling that from scriptures he is knowing and which type of work he should do, and that regulated occupational duty he is coming to know from the scriptures. And different orders and divisions of society perform without attachment or proprietary rights, and therefore without any love or hatred, and perform in the Krishna consciousness. So this is Prabhupada addition, and everywhere Prabhupada brings Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme, without self-satisfaction or self-gratification, are called actions in the mode of goodness. Clear?
Just to clarify, Prabhuji, that it says that it should not be directed for self-satisfaction, but it's possible that we can be satisfied, right, with that work. We are
Yes,
self-satisfied with the work.
Yes.
But it should.
Yes, because that is also one of the characteristics. And a goodness we have seen there are two prominent characteristics of goodness. And what are they? One is sukham, and another is jnanam. And so this is also one of these prominent characteristics of the goodness. We have seen this before. And so that's why ultimately person in the goodness, he will be happy only. And happy means is satisfied. And so that is there, but he doesn't do for that. He does as a duty. he doesn't have that love or hatred, and he's on the platform of duty. But he's happy only. And he doesn't work for happiness, but he's happy person only. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Which is
so
something done out of love, wouldn't it be more better than doing just as a duty? Was one question.
that is clear, no? But that is above the three modes. That for love he is doing, and for there are four stages we say that fear, desire, and above fear, somebody is practicing devotional service out of fear, and then somebody's desire platform, and he likes, then duty and love, and it is clear that love is the above platform, above all the three, and but love is a comes in the category of transcendence and not in the three modes, and that's why here we are talking about the three modes. So that it is better, definitely it is better, but it is above the modes love is called. Clear, Nupur?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Somebody else has any question? Every understand? Yatto kame pasuna karma sah साहंकारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुला यासम तद राजसम उदाहृतम. But action performed with great effort by seeking to gratify his desires. So he's performing for sukha and for enjoying, a person in the passion. His actions are passionate. He is endeavoring with great effort. Then he's performing for his desire and enacted from a sense of falsity. And ego is also there. Ahankar is also there. These three characteristics are there prominent. So this is the action in the mode of passion. So the passionate action is involves the great effort, ugra karma. Like person does an ugra karma. Great effort is there. Then what is there? One may see, and many people see that this modernization is increasing ugra karma. That is correct. But before also, there was ugra karma people used to do. The asuras, they used to do many ugra karmas. And then seeking to gratify his desires, and for his own pleasure he does. And doesn't he's not on the platform of duty and or love, and or he doesn't do for the pleasure of spiritual master or for pleasure of Krishna, and for his own pleasure he does. And with ego, false ego, ahankar is there, not as a servant. He does because of his false ego, with the desire of karma, ahankara. Bahula yasam, and with great effort he does. Okay. Now the action in the goodness. Anubandham kshayam himsam anapeksha cha paurusham mohad arabhyate karma yattattamasam uchyate. Now karma in ignorance. That action performed in illusion, in regard of scriptural, in disregard of scriptural, completely opposite of the scriptures and completely disregarding the scriptures, and without concerns for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others. They doesn't consider about future and Shreyas, they doesn't consider for violence or distress. That is the action in the mode of ignorance. Somebody can read.
One has to give account of one's action to the state or to the agents of the Supreme Lord called the Yamdutas. Irresponsible work is destructive because it destroys the regulative principles of scripture injunction. It is often based on violence and it's distressing to other living entities. Such irresponsible work is carried out in the light of one's personal experience. This is called illusion, and all such illusionary work is a product of the mode of ignorance.
That has to give the accounts of his action to the representative of Yamaraj, and they are called as Yamaduta. When he leaves his body, and at that time he has to give the account what kind of work he has done, and which destroys, and this kind of work in the ignorance destroys dharma, knowledge, and other good qualities also. And this knowledge in the mode of ignorance, the person destroys himself only. And such kind of destructive work. That's why Prabhupada is giving. Irresponsible work is destructive. So it destroys the regulative principles of scriptures. And because of these principles are destroyed, then person is destroying himself only. And their work is based on violence. And it harms the other living entities also. They perform the work without any consideration. They are not the sensitive people. So sensitive is very light word, but they do not consider, and they give distress to other living entity. And they perform this work only for their personal experience or fear or materialistic person, and they act for the only for the pleasure of materialistic person. This kind of work is work in the mode of ignorance, and they act forcibly also, and because of force they act. That is also mentioned by Acharya. Prabhupada has not mentioned this, but different. Like they act for materialistic person and they act because of force of others. So these two extra points mentioned by Acharyas. Okay. So now, till now, Krishna has mentioned the knowledge and action. Now, what is remaining? The doer, karta. This is remaining. The three things were there, na? Krishna has reduced from 6 to 3. So 2 Krishna has completed. Now 1 is remaining, doer, and that we will see. That mukta sango naham vadi dhruti उत्साह समन्वितः सिद्धि असिद्धयोर निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते. Sattvic karta, doer in the mode of goodness, one who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, with false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. So now here question may arise, and person in the he's without association of the modes of material nature, he is acting, and then how he is coming in the goodness. And so that is not clear to me also. I will ask to senior devotees. And so how he is not taking association of the modes of material nature also. And without that, and he is how he is coming in goodness, because he is not in any mode. And so that a doubt remains here, and I will clarify and try to tell next time. And I am finding out that also, that object of knowledge and how it is dead, it is mentioned. And Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has mentioned it as dead. And these two things are not clear to me also. And I will let you know. So now what is remaining, you'll see. So he's not associating with the modes of material nature, and he's without false ego, he's acting, and with determination. And a determination means he is facing many problems, but still he's continuing, and he's enthusiastic also, and without wavering in success or failures. And he's very stable person. Such a person, such a doer, and is in the mode of goodness. Okay. Purport somebody can read.
A person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectations for the result of the work entrusted to him, because he is above false ego and pride. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness.
Thank you. So these characteristics Prabhupada is giving. So now Prabhupada is adding Krishna consciousness and for goodness. Wherever goodness comes, Prabhupada adds Krishna consciousness, and is always transcendental to the modes of material nature. And he has no expectation for the results of the work entrusted to him, and is not attached to the results. And he cares for the result, but he is not attached. He is above the false ego and pride. Both of them are not there. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He doesn't worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic, not caring for success and failure. And because of these things, he is determined. And because he is not considering success or failure in his attempt. That's why he can be determined. One who is attached to success, and when failure comes, he will leave the work. He cannot be determined. And one who is detached to success and failure, that person only can be determined. And this is about the doer in the mode of goodness. So some people may have misconception, and that goodness means a slow, and a person will be so slow, calm, peaceful, and that doer may be peaceful. But that is not the prominent characteristics of the goodness. And so prominent characteristics of the goodness is what? These characteristics, and without association of modes of material nature, without false ego, and with determination, enthusiasm. And so person in the goodness, and he can be fast also. And it is not compulsory that he is a slow, and can be fast also in his activity. And he is fast means he is not passionate. And in goodness also he can be fast. How? Because his concepts are very clear, and so that's why he knows how to act fastly. And that's why he is very fast also. The characteristics of goodness is he thinks before acting. This person thinks before acting. He contemplates and what should be done and what should not be done. According to that, he acts. But speed is not mentioned. And some people, they say that goodness is very boring thing also. And some wrong conceptions are there. So now the worker in the passion. Ragi karma phala prepsur लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्ष शोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः. What Krishna is mentioning? Ragi. Ragi means what? Filled with attachment. He's attached. Attached to work. Then always envious. Always envious. Impure. Moved by joy and sorrow, greedy, desire to enjoy the fruits, attached to the fruit of work, and these are his characteristics. Somebody can read the purport.
Archana Mataji, you are on mute.
Sorry. A person is too much attached to a certain kind of work or to the result because he has too much attachment to materialism or health and home, wife and children. Such a person has no desire for higher elevation in life. He is simply concerned with making this world as materially comfortable as possible. He is generally very greedy. Prabhuji, you can't see that.
Sorry.
And he thinks that anything attained by him is permanent and never to be lost. Such a person is envious of others and prepared to do anything wrong for sense gratification. Therefore, such a person is unclean and he does not care whether his earning is pure or impure. He is very happy if his work is successful and very much distressed when his work is not successful. Such is the worker in the mode of passion.
What Prabhupada is explaining the characteristics. And this person is too much attached to certain kind of work only. Is not ready to do another kind of work. And the results also he is very much attached. And both things he is attached. And because of his attachment and for materialism and hearth and home, and means their possessions, and is attached to material things, means is attached to using things for his own enjoyment. And materialism means using for his own enjoyment. And the possession, and he's attached to possessions also. And then he is concerned with the making this world only comfortable. He is not ready to leave this world. And here only he wants to make this world comfortable and live here only in this world. And he is not thinking about leaving this world, but how to live joyfully with comfort in this world. That is his mentality. And he is very greedy. He thinks that whatever his possession is there, so he has that desire that that possession will remain with him permanently, and he's not ready to lose that possession. This is his mindset. And he's ready to do anything for sense gratification, even wrong things also he's ready to do, and doesn't care for his how he's earning money, and black money or white money, and any kind of money he is very eager to get. And in happiness he is very happy, and when he's sad, and he is very unhappy. So now, seeing these characteristics, and one may feel that I have some characteristics of goodness, and some characteristics of passion, and some characteristics of ignorance. And so it is very difficult to find out which mode we are in. And so our sometimes what happens, it is very complex, and to find out which mode we are in. And but solution is very easy, and whichever mode we are in, practice the devotional service, and increase our attachment to Krishna. Solution is very easy. Practice the devotional service. And so devotees generally they use this formula of practicing devotional service and getting out of these modes. If sometimes it is helpful also to find out which mode we are in, but if we are not able to find out, and that clear from this description, then we focus on better. We should focus on the solution. That is practice of devotional service. So some effort is required, and not that everybody will find out. So one has to see according to one's level, and if we are finding out, then it has some positive things also. And if we are not finding, we are not able to find out, then we should focus on the devotional service. And so that is our devotee's opinion, senior devotee's opinion. So now, doer in the mode of ignorance. And so what Krishna is telling, ayuktah prakrutah stabdah shatho naiskritiko lasah vishadi dirgha sutri cha karta tamas uchyate. So now the tamasic karta, the worker who is always engaged in work against the injunctions of the scriptures. And the ignorance person is against the scriptures completely, who is materialistic and obstinate, and he is very strong on his point, and stabdah, he is very holding his point, obstinate, not ready to change, and cheating, expert in insulting others, and he does insult also of others, who is lazy, always morose, procrastinating, and a dirgha sutri. He is a procrastinator. He is a worker in the mode of ignorance. Somebody can read the purport.
In the scriptural injunctions, we find what sort of work should be performed and what sort of work should not be performed. Those who do not care for those injunctions engage in work not to be done, and such persons are generally materialistic. They work according to the modes of nature and not according to the injunctions of the scripture. Such workers are not very gentle, and generally they are always cunning and expert in insulting others. They are very lazy. Even though they have some duty, they do not do it properly, and they put it aside to be done later on. Therefore, they appear to be morose. They procrastinate. Anything which can be done in an hour, they drag on for years. Such workers are situated in the mode of ignorance.
So Prabhupada is explaining the characteristics of the doer in the mode of ignorance. And his first point, he mentioned that they do not follow the scriptural injunction. They do not act according to that. Like they act completely opposite, and they do not care for the injunctions for engaging in work also. And they are generally materialistic, means they do work for their own pleasure. They work according to modes of nature and not according to scriptures. They are not very gentle. They are cunning and expert in insulting others. And you may have observed that some people, they are very expert, and even publicly also, and they insult others. They are very lazy. Even though they have some duty, they are not ready to do their duty. They do not do it properly and put it aside to done later, postponing. And that is Dirgha Sutri. And that's why they are morose. And if we do whatever our duty and on the time, then we will be happy. We will not be morose. And the reason of moroseness is that they do not perform their duty and they just postpone. And Prabhupada now is explaining the extreme case, which can be done in hours. They do in the years. Why? Not because their speed is slow, because they postpone and they don't do only. And so this is the doer in the mode of ignorance. And so now time is over. So we'll stop here. Anybody has any question, something they have not understood? Any questions?